years after the destruction, in a world where civilization has collapsed and violence is the only language left,
a man walked through these ruins with muscular build like a Rambo and deadly martial arts like Bruce Lee, seeking justice and love. This man is the sole successor of the ancient martial arts, and this is the beginning of the epic of the manliest manga you ever seen. Look at these ruins. This is word of the manga show us right from start. Fallen cities, broken down cars, and people who would do anything for a bite to eat. In the midst of this hell, a lone man with 7 scars on his chest. He is Kenshiro, the successor of the Hokuto Shinken martial arts style. His travel companion is a boy named Bat, a boy who was trying to steal Kenshiro food, but when he saw exactly what kind of person Kenshiro was, he decided to join him. On this journey, they arrive at city known as Southern Cross, the capital of kingdom ruled by Kenshiro's sworn enemy, Shin, the one who caused the scars on his body. But even worse, he kidnapped a woman who was love of his life, Julia. On the way, they get into a fight with a group of local thugs, where we see Kenshiro's incredible power for the first time. He destroys his enemy from within with a single blow, to there without points, and say his famous line, "Omae wa mou shindeiru." Nani? This is the beginning of the Kenshiro's epic journey for revenge, love, and justice. This isn't just a story about simple warrior. Fist of a North Star as its core is a deep story about fate, power, and true meaning of humanity. Kenshiro, he's the sole successor of the Hokuto Shinken martial arts style, and this fighting style is in fact a type of kung fu for assassins. This style works with striking without point and those destroying the body from within. The secret of Hokuto Shinken is the mastering the use of the other 70% of human potential. His goal isn't just limited to getting revenge on Shin and getting Julia back, but to use his power to protect the innocent and bring justice back to the post-apocalyptic world. Julia, Kenshin's lover and the main source of his sorrow and motivation. As the last general of Nanto, she's a symbol of hope and love in the manga desolate world. Shin, the first main antagonist and Kenshin's rival in the love and combat, he used Nanto Seiken martial art style, which is opposite of Hokuto Shinken. Unlike Hokuto Shinken, which destroy the body from within, Nanto Seiken destroy the body by striking and simply destroy it from outside. These two styles are known as the two supreme stars, Hokuto and Nanto, in the sky and on earth, and two faces of the same coin, who should not fight each other. But fate had other plans to represent a love that ends in the madness and thirst for power. Perhaps one of the similarities to this character is Dio from JoJo or Griffiths from Berserk. Rao is another antagonist in this story, the greatest and most powerful rival of Kenshiro, and his foster brother is another greatest example of philosophy of absolute power and believes that the only way to save humanity is to rule with force and fear. He's a symbol of the greatest contradiction to Kenshiro's philosophy of hope and kindness. Someone who faces Kenshiro's own fighting technique and puts on the fight that is the ultimate manliness. Toki, on the other hand, another character in this story and very important character, Kenshiro brother and master of Hokuto Shinken. Despite his fighting power, he used it for healing and helping people. For me, this character is like ultimate supporting character that we see in JoJo series a lot. Someone who stays with you until the end and even willing to sacrifice his life for you. In the series, we have a lot of great supporting characters like Bat and Lin, or antagonists like Jaggy or Ryuga all add to the richness of a story and of the depth of Kenshiro character. However, don't ignore them. This character and the other you see in the story with their backstory and goals make their story more dramatic. Manliness in this manga isn't just limited to big fists and muscles. Even though Kenshiro is killing machine, his heart is bigger than anything here. A man is someone who can be vulnerable even at the peak of his power. Fist of a North Star offers a unique definition of manliness. This manliness goes beyond physical power and it's tied to deep human concepts. I personally have to say, I don't think that while I was enjoying all this violent combat, I would tell myself, how can a fight be so much about not fighting? How can a story show that a monster can become a soul full of peace and has no choice but to fight in this world? This is what hurts and torments Kenshiro the most, and as a reader and watcher, all I can do is watch him there. Sorrow and grief is an example of this story. Kenshiro is a sorrowful hero. His entire motivation is the loss of his life, Julia. In every battle, a shadow of sorrow can be seen in his eyes, and his sorrow deeply connected with the audience. However, this sorrowful man cannot close his eyes to injustice. So, manliness in this manga is not about proving power, but about protecting the weak and bringing hope back to a hopeless world. The true heroes of this story are those who are ready to sacrifice their lives for their belief or to save others. If you think today's shonen and seinen manga with their awesome design just appeared out of nowhere, you need to see their roots. Fist of the North Star with its unique art paved the way for new generation of mangaka. The art style of Tetsuo sensei clearly grows through the manga, and you can see this with your own eyes from the first chapter to the last chapter. In the beginning, the design are a bit simple, but over time, the detail of muscle, facial expressions, and fight scenes reach a level of perfection that is completely spectacular, and in my opinion, is considered some of the best art in manga. Of course, Tetsuo sensei has another work with the same style and flair called Fist of the Blue Sky, which has a character with the same name, Kenshiro, that might be interesting to you. Of course, the purpose of talking about this manga is not to introduce him, as much can be said about him, but to discuss the influence of this manga, which was the main reason I decided to make this video. The influence of this manga on later works is undeniable. Mangakas like Toriyama in Dragon Ball, Kentaro Miura in Berserk, and Hiroko Araki in JoJo have all explicitly mention the influence of this manga on their visual style, or other stories like Baki the Grappler and even video games like Street of Rage have also been inspired by its muscular design and brutal atmosphere. And you might haven't seen reference to this manga and anime many times in different anime. In the end, when all the fighting is over and the dust settles, what does Fist of a North Star leave us with? This manga is not just an action epic, but a masterclass about humanity. This manga has perhaps managed to stay alive in my mind and even its fan for many years. It may not have received the best anime adaptation that it deserved, but still one of those works that is seen by generation and is always passed down by word of mouth. This manga shows us that true power is not violence, but in the ability to forgive, to protect the weak, and to preserve the human spirit against evil. This epic ultimately teaches us that being a human is the most enduring pain and fighting for something bigger than ourselves.